Let them find true wealth. Let them prioritize spiritual wealth before material gain. We who chased profits and possessions learned too late that true prosperity begins within. The alignment of resources with deeper purpose, creating a foundation that no market crash can shake. Meaning and fulfillment never found in bank statements, but in the quiet certainty that your life reflects what truly matters. Let them discover the peace that comes when acquisitions no longer define success. The liberation when enough becomes a celebration, not a limitation. Remember how we measured ourselves by comparison, always finding someone with more, always feeling insufficient. The hamster wheel of want, spinning faster, never reaching that promised satisfaction. Let them understand early what took us decades to learn, that stewardship brings more joy than ownership. Seeing themselves not as possessors, but as caretakers of resources that flow through their lives for purposes beyond personal comfort. The freedom found in open hands, not clenched fists. Let them recognize that money makes a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. How many of us became enslaved to what was meant to serve? Mortgages stretching decades, golden handcuffs, keeping us in careers that drained our spirits, prestigious addresses in neighborhoods where we barely knew our neighbors. Let them stumble into the counterintuitive truth that generosity creates abundance. When giving becomes reflexive, like breathing, not calculated like taxes. How we guarded our resources, believing scarcity was just around the corner when circulation creates prosperity. Stagnation breeds fear. The paradox that the most joyful people we know are rarely the wealthiest, but often the most generous. Let them find contentment, that elusive butterfly we chased so frantically, never realizing it lands only on open palms, never on grasping fingers. The discipline of saying enough, the practice of gratitude, the deliberate choice to see what is present, not what is lacking. How differently we would have lived had we learned this sooner. Let them practice faithful diligence without worshipping the god of productivity. Excellence without exhaustion. Effort without identity collapse. Valuing work for its contribution, not just its compensation. We who sacrificed health relationships' presence on the altar of success now understand the true cost of imbalance. The regrets that visit in quiet moments about games, not attended conversations, not had sunsets, not witnessed. Let them plan wisely while holding those plans loosely. Foresight without rigidity, preparation without paranoia. Building foundations while remaining adaptable as landscapes shift. How many of our carefully constructed futures crumbled with market downturns, health diagnoses, technological disruptions? Yet those with both roots and flexibility weathered storms that toppled the merely wealthy. Let them avoid debt's silent shackles that limited our choices, narrowed our options, whispered fear into our decisions. The weight we carried, sometimes decades of payments for pleasures, long forgotten possessions, long discarded. Freedom found not in credit limits, but in margins of simplicity and self-sufficiency. Let them cultivate integrity even when honesty carries short-term costs. The compounding interest of trust built over decades, the wealth of reputation that opens doors long after net worth statements fade. Remember those we knew whose financial houses collapsed from foundations built on deception, expediency, corner-cutting. How temporary their triumphs, how lasting their regrets. Let them practice patience in a world demanding instant everything. The discipline of delayed gratification that troubled our impulsive generations. Investing time in what grows slowly but endures. Relationships? Wisdom skills that appreciate rather than depreciate. The rushing toward acquisition that often led to buyer's remorse, rather than lasting satisfaction. Let them diversify not just portfolios, but sources of meaning, purpose, connection. Eggs scattered wisely across baskets of community contribution, creativity, service, learning. We who placed all our identity eggs in career baskets felt the devastating crack when those baskets fell. Resilience built not just through financial hedging, but through richness of being. Let them allocate first fruits, systematically saving, investing, giving from the beginning of each inflow, not waiting for surplus that rarely materializes. The habit that builds wealth more surely than any get-rich scheme. Small, consistent actions, compounding into security, freedom, impact over decades. What seemed impossible, mountains of financial goals conquered through daily steps, not magic leaps. Let them transfer wisdom alongside wealth to future generations. We who inherited money, but not money knowledge, who received resources without responsibility, financial accounts without financial acumen. The gift of teaching financial literacy greater than any trust fund. Values outlasting valuables, principles outliving principle. Let them balance work with rest, productivity, with renewal, achievement, with appreciation. The Sabbath rhythm our burnout culture rejected to its detriment. Cycles of effort followed by genuine recovery, creating sustainable prosperity. How many of us reached desired destinations too exhausted to enjoy the view, too depleted to climb the next meaningful mountain? Let them seek wisdom beyond mere knowledge, information beyond mere data, understanding the why beneath the how, the purpose beyond the process. Financial strategies informed by values, life goals aligned with deepest convictions. The integration that creates prosperity, transcending mere wealth. Let them define success by what they contribute, not merely what they accumulate. Significance measured in lives touched, not just assets acquired. Legacy counted in wisdom, shared, not just wealth transferred. How differently we might have lived had we understood earlier that the richest person is rarely the one with the most possessions, but often the one with the most meaningful connections. Let them learn early that generosity grows through practice, small seeds of giving eventually yielding forests of impact. The muscle of sharing strengthened through regular exercise. We who delayed generosity until someday, often finding that day never quite arrived. The joy of giving experienced now, not postponed to some theoretical future abundance. Let them discover the wealth in community interdependence, mutual support. Financial journeys shared, rather than solitary competition replaced with collaboration. How much lighter the burdens when carried together, how much richer the celebrations when multiplied through sharing. The rugged individualism that left so many of us isolated in times of struggle and diminished in times of triumph. Let them recognize the privilege in having choices, awareness of advantages not earned but inherited, systems tilted in directions that benefited some while barring others, the responsibility that comes with opportunity, the abundance that increases when accessibility expands. Our generation's blindness to structural inequities now revealed as both unjust and unwise. Let them distinguish between wants and needs, between essential and excessive, between meaningful and merely more. Clarity that cuts through advertising's false promises, status symbols, empty allure, comparisons, endless dissatisfaction. The peace in defining enough, the freedom in consuming consciously, the satisfaction in aligning spending with values. Let them release attachment to financial outcomes beyond their control. Markets rising, falling, rising again. Economies expanding, contracting, sometimes collapsing. The wisdom to influence what can be influenced, accept what cannot be changed, and distinguish between the two. Equanimity amid uncertainty, the emotional stabilizer that makes rational decisions possible when others panic. Let them measure wealth in time, autonomy, not just dollar signs. The freedom to allocate precious hours according to purpose, not merely profit. True prosperity found in the ability to say yes to what matters most without financial handcuffs constraining choices. How many of us realize too late that time is the one currency that cannot be earned once spent? Let them embrace sufficiency as a concept, not sacrifice. Abundance defined by enough, not excess. The richness in simplicity. The wealth in clarity. The prosperity in purposeful limitations. Our generation confusing wants with needs, more with better, bigger, with valuable. The awakening that often came too late after years of acquisition, without satisfaction, accumulation, without meaning. Let them recognize how money magnifies what already exists. Resources amplifying character, not creating it. Wealth revealing priorities, not establishing them. The mirror that reflects back what truly matters to us. How often we blamed money for problems that were actually rooted in our values, choices, relationships with self and others. Let them hold material resources with open hands, understanding that permanence is illusion control, largely fiction. Wealth flowing in seasons like all of nature's gifts. The financial winters that ultimately nurtured resilience, the abundant harvests that taught generosity. Conditional plans, unconditional purposes, provisional means enduring ends. Let them create margins of safety, simplicity, flexibility, breathing room between income and expenses. Space that nurtures generosity, enables opportunity, provides peace amid uncertainty. The stress we endured living, stretched to limits, maxed to margins, indebted to eyeballs. How differently sleep comes when financial cushions exist, even modest ones. Let them measure returns on investment in multiple currencies. Not just financial, but relational, emotional, spiritual, intellectual. Diversified portfolios of meaning and purpose, not merely stocks and bonds. Wealth as whole life prosperity, not merely monetary accumulation. How many of us reached financial goals while bankrupting other essential accounts? Let them align advice with advisors who share their values, recognizing that financial guidance always reflects philosophical foundations. Wisdom sought from those whose lives reflect integrated prosperity, not merely technical expertise. We who sometimes followed counsel leading to profits, but not peace returns without rest, abundance without alignment. Let them examine implications, consequences, ripple effects. Financial decisions never existing in isolation. The impact of purchases, investments, business models on communities, environments, future generations. Responsibility extending beyond bottom lines to broader horizons. The interconnection we often overlooked in our individualistic pursuit of financial security. Let them create financial habits early that grow stronger with practice. Automation before temptation. Systematic saving before spontaneous spending. Trusting the unseen accumulation of small actions over dramatic gestures. How those who began with modest, disciplined steps often surpassed those with larger incomes but chaotic financial habits. Let them respect money without worshipping it, neither demonizing wealth nor deifying it. Holding healthy perspective about a tool powerful but purposeless, without wisdom guiding its use. The balanced relationship with resources that eluded so many who either scorned prosperity as spiritually suspect or pursued it as ultimate salvation. Let them prepare for financial seasons of both scarcity and abundance, neither assuming perpetual prosperity nor permanent austerity, building flexible resilience for changing conditions. Remember how markets economies, careers all moved in cycles, while our planning often assumed uninterrupted growth, adaptation ultimately proving more valuable than prediction. Let them celebrate financial progress without postponing joy. Milestones acknowledged, satisfactions savored, giving practiced at every stage, not just the final destination. Life's brevity and uncertainty, teaching us the wisdom of present gratitude, not just future goals. How many delayed living fully until some theoretical tomorrow that for some never arrived? Let them release comparison, the thief of financial peace, measuring progress against personal purpose, not others' possessions. The endless treadmill of status competition that exhausted resources without delivering satisfaction. Freedom found in running your own race, not constantly glancing at others' tracks. Let them define inheritance broadly. Values, ethics, wisdom, examples, memories, relationships, skills, legacies transcending mere money. Intergenerational transfers of both resources and responsibility. What truly remains after we are gone, not just what appears on balance sheets, but what lives on in hearts and minds and actions of those we touched. Let them honor the past while creating new models. Financial wisdom that transcends cultural moment, technological shifts, economic transformations. Principles remaining relevant while applications evolve. Our generation, witnessing disappearance of pensions, emergence of gig economies, disruption of career ladders, globalization of markets, digitization of currency, adaptability paired with timeless truths. Let them seek prosperity with justice, individual flourishing harmonized with collective well-being, success detached from exploitation, progress untethered from depletion. The long-term thinking that recognizes true wealth cannot exist amid widespread poverty. True security cannot stand upon others' instability. The interconnection we often ignored until consequences could no longer be denied. Let them approach money conversations with openness, not secrecy. Financial literacy shared openly across generations. Transparent discussions replacing whispered anxieties. Transforming money from taboo topic to practical tool for creating shared values and vision. The silence that often kept financial wisdom from flowing freely between parents and children, partners and communities. Let them understand that giving creates receiving, that sharing generates abundance, that circulation prevents stagnation. The counterintuitive economics, where generosity multiplies resources. Our surprise when doors opened because we had opened our hands, when opportunities appeared, because we had created opportunity for others, when blessings returned, multiplied beyond our calculations. Let them practice gratitude as the foundation of true wealth. Appreciation for what exists, preventing the insatiable hunger for what does not. Contentment with enough illuminating the hollowness of excess. We who focused on accumulation, often missing the abundance already present. The richest people we knew, rarely those with biggest portfolios, but invariably those with greatest capacity for noticing, savoring, appreciating life's genuine treasures. Let them create rather than merely consume, adding value through creativity, contribution, service sharing. Wealth generated through innovation, problem-solving needs, meeting gap-filling. Productivity not as exploitation, but as genuine creation. Makers, not just takers, builders, not just buyers, contributors, not just consumers. Let them embrace both and thinking beyond either or limitations. Profit and purpose, security and generosity, planning and flexibility, individuality, and community. The false dichotomies that forced unnecessary choices diminished potential prosperity. Integration, creating wholeness where fragmentation once prevailed. Let them seek wise counsel while developing internal wisdom, learning from mentors while building personal discernment, avoiding both stubborn self-reliance and passive dependence. The collaborative approach to financial wisdom that multiplies perspectives while deepening personal ownership. Let them build lifelong learning into financial journeys, education continuing beyond degrees, knowledge expanding past formal training, curiosity keeping strategies relevant as conditions evolve. How often assumptions calcified into certainties, leaving us unprepared when paradigms shifted, markets transformed, technologies disrupted. Let them recognize seasons and cycles in financial life, expansion and contraction, accumulation and distribution, earning and resting. Natural rhythms respected, not resisted. Patience during winter preparation, during spring stewardship, during summer generosity, during harvest. The wisdom to align with appropriate energy for each financial season. Let them establish priorities that transcend temporary circumstances. Core values guiding decisions despite shifting conditions. Financial principles maintained through prosperity and adversity. Consistency, creating compound growth, where reactivity produced chaos. The steady path, ultimately outpacing frantic adjustments to every economic headline, market fluctuation, or investment fad. Let them honor the body amid financial pursuits. Health, not sacrificed on altars of accumulation. Well-being recognized as ultimate wealth. The pointlessness of gaining financial world while losing physical vitality, mental clarity, emotional stability. How many of us reached retirement with resources, but without energy to enjoy them, with wealth, but without health to use it meaningfully? Let them approach money with neither fear nor recklessness. Courage tempered by prudence, confidence balanced with humility. Financial decisions made from centered wisdom, not reactive emotion. The middle path between anxiety-driven hoarding and carefree squandering that represented true financial maturity. Let them maintain perspective through life transitions, job changes, career pivots, relocation, retirement. Healthcare needs family additions and subtractions. Financial flexibility, supporting life's natural evolutions. Adaptation without abandonment of principles. Adjustment without amnesia of purpose. Resilience through inevitable transformations. Let them embrace both security and adventure, safety and exploration, responsibility and possibility. The balanced approach, creating both stability and opportunity. Cautious enough for protection, adventurous enough for growth, responsible enough for sustainability, imaginative enough for innovation. Let them find mentors whose lives embody integrated prosperity, guides demonstrating wholeness, not merely financial acumen. Wisdom sought from those whose wealth flows from values, whose success encompasses significance, whose prosperity includes purpose. Examples of lives well lived, not just portfolios well managed. Let them remember that true wealth ultimately serves love, resources directed toward what matters most, finances flowing toward deepest values, prosperity, finding meaning in relationship contribution, legacy, healing growth. The simple truth that money makes a meaningful difference only when directed toward meaningful differences. Let them discover their enough, the personal sufficiency point where needs are met without excess, where contentment replaces craving, where freedom replaces financial bondage. The liberation found in having neither too little nor too much. Boundaries creating clarity. Clarity creating peace, creating true prosperity. Let them embrace the journey, not just the destination, finding joy in progress, not just arrival, satisfaction in growth, not just achievement, meaning in process, not just outcome. Financial goals, serving life purpose, not life-serving financial goals. The path of true wealth unfolding daily, not merely awaiting some distant future. Let them know that we see them, struggling, seeking questioning, finding their own way through economic landscapes, both familiar and foreign to us. Let them know we trust their capacity to create new models of prosperity that transcend limitations of our own. Let them know that wisdom speaks through ages while applications evolve with times. Let them discover through living what we discovered too late or just in time. The timeless truth that genuine wealth always begins with what truly matters most.